Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Drayton Park Golf Club. I'm out on our 5th tee, and what I'm going to be discussing today is Jordans Speith's swing. What we're really going to be focusing on is what he does with his lead arm at impact and through impact. Often recalled or called a chicken wing, we start to see Jordan's lead arm being bent at impact and staying bent and staying higher than his trail arm post impact. So I'm going to talk you through the reasons that Jordan does this, the advantages that gives him, as well as the disadvantages. So as mentioned, what is often recalled or called a chicken wing, we quite often talk about a chicken wing in the backswing, where we start seeing the trail elbow flying in the backswing. With Jordans Speith, what we're really focusing on is by the time he hits the golf ball, his lead arm is slightly bent and it stays a little bit bent, and on the release through the ball there's very little club face closure, and you'll see his lead arm stay higher than his trail arm. Traditionally we'd perhaps see more forearm rotation. So with Jordans Speith, he really likes this about his swing. He definitely wants this in his golf swing, and with his coach, they're happy for that to be part of his golf swing. What he has to do is make sure the club face position is closing on the downswing correctly, so he doesn't need to close the club face too quickly through impact. So the advantage it gives him is he feels like his club is pointing at the target for longer. Traditionally, and even with Jordan's swing, there is club face closure. The toe of the golf club is definitely moving quicker than the heel. What we want to see, however, is a slower rate of closure, so we don't want excessive hands and arms action. Now, whenever I talk about this, I get a lot of people online saying, but I can't generate speed that way. It is true, you can generate speed with hands and arms, but when you're shutting down your body to utilize hands and arms, we're losing control and you're losing body speed. If we manage to get our body working correctly, we don't need to dominate with our hands and arms as much, and I think you see this with a lot of the modern players. So with Jordans Speith, the reason he can get away with this is what he gets to the top of the backswing position is a flat lead wrist or slightly bowed this way into flexion, where you actually see the club face either matching the lead arm or slightly the loft pointing up towards the sky in a slightly closed club face position. So either a flat left wrist, or if anything, he's just got a little bit of flexion in there of the left wrist. He definitely increases that flexion on the way down. So that is the glove logo pointing away from the target. What that does is it closes the club face a little bit earlier, so he doesn't need to at impact. And what he's really doing through impact is he feels that he can make the club face point at his target line for longer because there's less need for hand and arm action through impact. So the advantage it gives him, well, is generally a very straight driver of the golf ball, so and very, of course, very good with his irons and his approach play into green, very accurate player. And a lot of this he puts down to the fact that he has this chicken wing through impact because of, but it comes as a result of what he does with the club face on the downswing. If you get the club face open on the downswing and you had Jordans Speith's release position, you would hit the ball way right of target. You would hit a big push slice. So the key is that the club face, if you're going to go with his approach, has to be closed at the top or closing more in the downswing, so we can almost hold the club off rather than release it with our hands and arms action. So as I said, the benefit is accuracy. There is a loss of speed when it's, you know, no hand and arm action as he's trying to feel, and I say that very lightly because there is, of course, hands and arms action in there, but really dominated with the body. But we see lots of long hitters make a similar move, like a Dustin Johnson, who closes the club face very early in his backswing and again has his hands almost ahead of the golf club, cuts out the toe catching up with the heel. The amount of club face closure is definitely slow. So we see it with a lot of good long hitters. It forces them to use their body better. So this isn't for someone who's got a real lack of flexibility, injury, really unable to utilize their lower body power. But if you can, it's a good way to perhaps look at some accuracy. So I'm going to try a Jordan swing. my very best effort at it. So I'm going to be in the downswing trying to feel like my lead wrist starts to point towards the camera behind me, away from the target, to try and close down the club face, and it's going to feel like I'm almost keeping this lead arm higher than my trail arm through impact, not letting my forearms rotate as quickly. Let's give it a go. So let's rehearse one of those. Flat left wrist or a little bit of bow in there. Turn my wrist away from the target so it's closing the club face so I can hold the club off a little longer as it starts to rain. Let's give it a go. So not bad strike. I got that going a little left. So what that would mean, I definitely close the club face here. I'd actually need to hold it off a little bit more through impact. So it's not something you can take to the golf course straight away, but if you are struggling with accuracy, but you've got plenty of distance, it may be something to look at. So let's try it again. We're going to try and close the club face earlier in the downswing with my wrist pointing away from the target and feel like I hold it off a little bit more through impact. There we go. So a little soft baby draw, finishing about middle of the fairway, might run through into the fairway bunker there. It's not really the club I'd take off our 5th tee, but just wanted to demonstrate what he's doing, and he does this with every club. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about a drive or an iron, but it's really the link of what he's doing on the downswing that allows him to almost hold the shot off a little bit longer through impact. Do post some comments and questions below if you enjoyed the content of this video. I'm not saying this is a swing for everybody. I just wanted to touch on what Jordan does and the benefits of it to him and the downsides as well. Post some comments as questions below, as I said. Do check out the TruGolf Academy. There's all the other content every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5:30, and all our social media info is coming along the bottom of the screen right now as well. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.